Good morning. Uh, John McCarthy with the Chicago chapter of the Center for Political Innovation. And I might get myself in a little bit of trouble with this morning message uh, because CPI is a think tank. We're not a party, we're not a pack. We do not endorse any candidate. We don't get involved in elections, but I got a comment on something that's going on with electoral politics right now. Good news, guys. According to left Twitter, all we have to do to make sure that Palestine is finally free is make sure that Joe Biden runs unopposed in the Democratic primaries. This, of course, is bullshit, but it seems to be what people are saying. Kennedy has some stupid and piggish positions on the issue of Palestine, and yeah, there is genocide going on there, and it needs to stop. But we happen to be minutes away from war, all-out nuclear war, between the countries with the two largest nuclear arsenals in the history of the world. And that's the primary issue facing us right now. That is the primary contradiction. And there is only one presidential campaign right now that is explaining to people how we solve the underlying issues that have caused that. Marianne is for peace. Wants a Department of Peace. More to her. More power to her. She's moved closer to an anti-imperialist position. When Joe Biden decided to murder and maim children in Ukraine with cluster bombs, she came out against that. So the crisis is moving her closer in our direction. Cornel West is for disbanding NATO. He's for both sides disarmament. He's for an end to arms to Ukraine. But every single conversation he brings up about Ukraine, he has to talk about how bad Putin is. And RFK is bringing up the speech that his uncle gave, in which he said, we have to see things from the Russian point of view. And we need to come up with a system that makes everybody feel safe. And that is more important than any of these other issues. We're not endorsing him, but when he's bringing that up, when he is making the primary contradiction facing the world right now, the key plank of his campaign, and when he is bringing that issue to average working people who are not part of the anti-imperialist internet bubble, and he's bringing that perspective to them, why the heck would you start throwing rocks at him? And that's the same thing people were doing to Tulsi supporters on the internet in the last election. And when I say to Tulsi supporters, because, okay, that's why I'm so mad at this cancel RFK thing that's going on the internet, because they're not just directing it at him, they are directing it at his supporters. They're saying, if you support RFK Jr. Because you want to stop this war, that you're pro-genocide and that you want to kill Arab babies, and, they're attacking you personally, and they're not just attacking fellow leftists, internet leftists who, are soft on JFK. They're attacking the thousands and thousands of average working people who only get political around election campaigns, who are now supporting him in order to stop the war. And that's the same thing they did to Tulsi supporters. I was one of them. I was a Tulsi supporter during the last election. They kept bringing up Modi, 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 and in the last 3 years, while Biden's been president, how many times have any of these people who said we can't fight to get Tulsi in the debates to talk about stopping this new Cold War and before it becomes thermonuclear, we can't fight for that because she's a secret Hindu nationalist, fascist, whatever. How many times in the past 3 years have any of these people brought up the issue of rights for Muslims in India since then, right? Maybe a couple of them have. Most of them have not, because it was all bullshit. They didn't care about that. They were manipulated by the establishment into being against the one candidate who was, at the time, bringing up the issue that the establishment didn't want anybody to hear. And that is what's going on again, right? That's what's going on again. We should be fighting for debates in the Democratic primary that include Marianne, that include Bobby Jr., and include Brandon if he has the guts to show up. The Democratic National Committee is trying to prevent debates for a reason. They're afraid of debates. So why would we help them? Why are we trying to cancel these other two candidates at the same time that the Democratic National Committee is trying to avoid any debate with them, right? And like all these people canceling RFK over the Palestine issue, and again, CPI doesn't endorse candidates, so what I'm going to say, then they should be supporting Marianne. She's attacked the settlements, right? She has said that we got to make sure that none of the U.S. aid going there to Israel ends up helping the settlements. Now, she claims we're contractually obligated to keep funding Israel until I forget what year she says. So you can criticize her for that if you want, but you can't say that she supports genocide or supports the settlements, because no, she's against both. She is against both, and I shouldn't say who my candidate is while I'm doing a CPI broadcast, but she's not my candidate, but she's not what you guys are saying she is either. And if Palestine was really your main issue in the major party primaries, she is the most pro-Palestinian. But they're not supporting her, right? They're basically helping the DNC with this cancel culture that they're saying. They're not fighting for open debates that would weaken Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the guy that's trying to blow the world up. We have to stop him from becoming president again. And okay, go ahead and support a third party in November. If it ends up being Trump versus Biden, so will I. But we have to stop Biden. So we have to try to stop him in the primary, and we have to try to stop him in the general. We have to stop him, right? There's only one candidate right now that supports killing and maiming children with cluster bombs, and that's Joe Biden. So that is the candidate that we have to stop, no matter what. And I can't tell you who to vote for, especially in this, but I can tell you, don't throw rocks at people when they're saying the right thing. And they might be saying a lot of wrong things too, but what's going to determine whether or not we even make it to the general election is whether or not we can de-escalate this war, which is now a hot war. It's gone from a Cold War to a proxy war to a hot war between the United States and Russia. and we have to stop it before it becomes a nuclear war, because after that we're not stopping nothing. The only thing that is being stopped at that point is human civilization and higher life on Earth. So stop canceling people. That we have many anti-imperialist candidates running against Joe Biden now. Some of them are better, some of them are worse, but they are pulling regular people into politics, not people in the anti-imperialist left Twitter online bubble. Regular people. They are pulling regular people into anti-imperialist activity to one degree or another. And no, these candidates are not heroes. They're not saviors. I would say they're not the villains either. But definitely, the people who are coming into action because of these campaigns are not the villain. They're the future. And you have to be committed to organizing those people, not canceling those people. And, you can organize them to a higher level. Don't propitiate that. Don't hold back criticizing the people, the candidates they're supporting on the things that they're wrong on. But don't cancel people and call people pro-genocide and try to drive people away. The whole point is to build an anti-imperialist coalition to stop this war while we still can. And I don't know if this qualifies for the rules for a CPI morning meeting, because I'm meddling in electoral politics, and it's not really optimistic like we're supposed to be with these messages. But in a way, it is optimistic, because what I'm ranting and raving against is pessimism. This cancel culture and edgelording on the internet, right? Trying to be the most correct, most virtuous person on the internet. That's not what's going to save us. What's going to save us is the masses coming into action against empire, and an election period is an opportunity to activate people who are not usually activated. It's an opportunity to win people to our perspective, and if you're trying to prove how much better you are than them, that's not gonna win them permanently to our cause. And that's the goal, is to win them permanently to our cause. And I think we can do that. I think we just have to focus on what matters instead of on trying to make ourselves feel superior. Okay, that's my message for today. All right, bye.